Ladies and gents, week 7 has ended. It's time to look at the buy lows for week 8. You never go wrong with a trade to help your team out. Come playoff time, let's jump in. Number 1, we've done this one before. It's JT from the Colts. Why? I mean, it's pretty simple. Offense might change a little bit now. Matt Ryan's being benched. They're bringing in the Sam Ellinger guy. I don't even know who this guy is. Their backup. But peep this, guys. Taylor had 15 points last week. Decent game. Not getting a ton of attempts. Maybe because he's come back from injury, not being given enough targets. But had over 5 catches out of the backfield. Pretty good. Hines has been in and out. He had a huge concussion issue. Was out for 2 weeks. Might not be the same for a couple more weeks to go. And not only this, the Colts schedule gets so much easier, especially against the run. Go for Jonathan Taylor, especially if you can get, he was the number 1 drafted guy. So if you're trading a round 2 running back, round 3 receiver plus somebody for him, it's a big win. Let's go with that. Next is DAndre Swift. He has yet to play in like 3, 4, 5 weeks. Injuries has always been an issue with DAndre Swift, but again, if you can risk it, go for it. Their price would be pretty low for him. And guys, remember, when he's healthy, he's huge for PPR with that team for the Lions. They have struggled offensively without him. Mon St. Brown as well has been in and out of the lineup for the past 2-3 weeks, so their offense has been without their best 2 players. And Jamal Williams isn't doing it. And they're using Craig Reynolds as that kind of like hybrid where Swift comes out, where he can be like Swift coming out of the backfield, make catches, but it's not working. Swift needs to come back. He will. And take caution in this. They've been very, very, I guess the word is cautious with him from injury. He could have come back this week. He was close. He practiced as well. And I think it's just the benefit that they were taking the extra time to keep him healthy, make him 100%, come for the last half of the season. Swift, huge. Buy low. Let's get it. Number 3. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a duel here. I'm going to start with Brandon Cooks. Now, why, you might say, Brandon Cooks? Who wants Brandon Cooks from the Texans when the offense is so bad? But peep this. This might be a little bit risky, but we know the trade deadline's coming in the NFL next week. Maybe, might not be next week, and maybe in a couple weeks. And the fantasy season is also, trade deadline's coming up in November. So what do? Risky in these buy low scenarios, but, guys, these guys are trade targets. Brandon Cook on the trade market. Potentially could be traded to, let's say, the Green Bay Packers. We know the Rams need another receiver. We know potentially even Tampa might go and do something. Their offense has been so horrible. And the AFC side of things, we know Chiefs have decent receivers, but they don't have a number 1. The Bengals are all set, but there are other teams that could use a number 1 receiver like Brandon Cooks, or even as the number 2. So, as a buy low scenario, if you can get him as a bench stash, and imagine if he becomes traded to a top team in the NFC, as an example, Cowboys need a receiver bad. Huge value in that. You're not going to get that, especially if he gets traded right away. You can send it. I mean, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Maybe it's too risky. Same thing goes to Chase Claypool, number 4. Huge rumors that he's going to get traded. He's the more likely one, I think. A little bit younger, 6'4". The frame of this receiver is insane. Ability to catch the ball out of the air, extremely good. The Steelers don't need him at all, and neither do the Texans with Cooks. But they already have Pickens and Deontay Johnson as their top 2 guys. Pickens has come out to be an incredible young receiver. Claypool could be moved. Biggest rumor is to Green Bay. I mean, Claypool hasn't done much. If it's a bench piece, trade him for bench, and just risk it. Maybe it might be worth it. Who knows? Let's go to number 5 to end it. Fournette. I mean, a lot of this stuff, you can take anybody from the Tampa Bay offense. I'm a fan of. Godwin, Evans, Fournette are the top 3. I think they're worth, especially in the back half of the season. We know Tampa, especially in year 1, it took 8 weeks for them to get going, right? Brady needs to settle in. They have a new coach. Brady has issues personally. Offensively, they're not as good, not as consistent. Issues have come up. Injuries left and right. Fournette's their dog in the backfield. Gets multiple gets almost 80% of the looks. Rachaad White has kind of been getting looks here and there, but he's mainly going to be a third down scenario, just like, for Mixon. It is with their third down back. I forget his name off the top of my head. Similar situation there. And there's multiple third down backs. Jamal Williams comes in for DAndre Swift multiple times. You can go on and on and on. Nothing to worry about. He gets bulk of the carries. And if they start getting to the red zone, guess who they're feeding that ball to? It is going to be Leonard Fournette. Huge by low. Those are your top 5 for week 8.
I think I'm in love, say it way too often. I can't play these games, think I'm switching up the offense. See me in LA, I'll be moving cautious, I can't feel no pain.